Hello, John Blaze. I was listening to your show. You're right on some things, you're wrong on some. Now, you just bought a piece of land, and it cost you that really horrific amount of money for your tax declaration and all that. Well, we did that too, but it's a house and land. Now, here's what's going to happen. You went through, and you're not very happy. Of course, I wouldn't be too, about having to pay that much money for the whole tax declaration thing on there, right? And now you just bought a piece of land. Okay. Now, unfortunately for you, that, and Gilda's here to declare this.
If you want to build the house, so you apply for the municipal for the building permit.
There you go. Apply to municipal for the building permit.
After the building permit, so after you done your house, you apply again for the tax declaration for your house.
So another tax declaration you're going to have to go through on that house. I mean, on the property. Well, I mean, so you got the land. Okay, we got through that with the tax declaration. We went through that. We must have paid about $160,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we paid about $160,000. John Blaze, Larry Evans.
The land and the house.
The land and the house.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Larry. The land and the house. Now, your situation, you paid that enormous amount of money. Sounds about the same area or the amount that we paid for house and land. So you're kind of getting fucked over on there. I hate to say that because your intent, I guess, is to, well, you want to build a house on there. Wouldn't that be correct? Okay. You're going to have to go through this whole thing. You go to municipal, you get permits, and when push comes to shove, the house, you're going to have to do the same thing, tax declaration on the house. And we know because we know people have done this, and we had to pay a rather huge tax declaration on this place. I mean, as I said, a lot of people don't know. I mean, your information was informative, but a little bit off track. But, you just figure that, let's just say that you paid, I don't know, I forgot if you mentioned the number or not, like $150,000 tax declaration. And there's other fees that came in there and everything else, right? Okay, we got that. All right, so that was bullshit enough, wasn't it? Yeah, I know. Okay, so, all right, you want to build a house on there, and there you go again. Probably out like another 150,000 pesos. I don't know. I guess, it's one of these situations where you just don't really have a choice about anything. If you're going to get a piece of property, you got to go along with the requirements. And, it's different when you're doing a loan that somebody, the buyer, his agent or something, if he has an agent, or lending agency actually has to find out, what is the value of your property before I'm going to lend you any money. But you're dealing with cash, you don't have to worry about that, I assume. And but you just can't get away with like where I live here. There's not really, they don't use the terminology title. It's over here. It's tax declaration. I don't think there's any animal called title here when it comes to, buying a house. It's so different, In America, in places like that, you buy something, it's called fee simple. There's different terminologies on buying a house. I ain't gonna get into all of them. I'm not a real estate agent, but I can only know from properties I've owned and so forth and so on. But yeah, we had to go through that too, John. And I was pretty shocked. Because, we had somebody handle this, in Saboon. It did take, like you said, a few months. But in our case here, the only people that were on the so-called tax declaration of this house was the husband and wife. He was a political guy, actually. That doesn't really matter. But him and his wife were the only people that were on this so-called, let's call it a title, okay? Just for the sake of argument, the title. And we had to make sure that there were no taxes owed. And it was just at that point he should have been paying his tax. It came close to it, but before we went on with the deal and before we could go through it, he had to pay and show proof. He didn't know much. It was very little. But he had to go off and pay that amount of money on the taxes before we were even going to do this, what's going to go through. So I would kind of look into things, and, you know, you're planning to, you know, that's, you know, the shitty thing about that, John Blaze, is that, okay, you know, the tax declaration, when you're going to buy a house, I mean, you're going to build a house, okay? Once you have that house, I mean, look at the money going out. I mean, look at the money that you have to put out to build that house. You know, it's going to be a lot more than, you know, to build a house is going to probably cost you, I don't know, according to what you're going to build, conservatively, a couple of million at least, according to what you're building, really. Okay, so then there's the building cost and, you know, the materials, how much, you know, talent you have to do some of it yourself, and how much you have to pay workers to do this. Making sure all your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed, and making sure that whoever the contractors are, if you're going to hire contractors to build a house, you know, to make sure they're legitimate and they know what the hell they're doing. I know this Italian guy that built this really nice place, but the first people that actually were building it for him, they just totally fucked up everything. And he had put out, I forgot how much money. So he took a dive on this place. It looks beautiful now. He was trying to sell it for $28 million, but he just couldn't get that kind of money. It's a big white place right here in Santa Fe. It's a long house, you know. It has like a little upstairs thing, and then he rents out a couple of the rooms there, or made little apartments, okay? He regretted that he even did that, because him and his girlfriend broke up, or wife, actually, and big thing about that, because his parents had donated money for the house and all that shit, and, you know, they want to be paid back, and it's just, they just stayed together, you know, probably seeing other people and all that. But you're actually sitting in the same room together in one of the little apartments. It's just fucking crazy what you have to go through. But yeah, so you were saying that you're on the title on that, but here's the thing that's kind of bothering me. You're saying that the land you bought, that because your name is on there, that it belongs to you. You can't own land. Now, let me confer with my constituent here. Now, lovely Gilda, now John Blaze claims that his name and his wife's name is on the title of the land. Okay, call it a title, all right? However, foreigners can't own land. Correct.
Yeah, foreigners cannot own land.
All right, Gilda said foreigners can't own land. So, I don't know if that's
they can put the name for the house, but cannot put the name for the land.
For what? You could put your name on the house, but I'm not sure where you're kind of getting off here saying that's your name and hers. Even if they're married, right? Even if they're married, Gilda, right? Even if they're married, it still applies, the same thing, right? Okay. And you also said something that in order to buy a property that you have to be married. I don't know where you got that. I mean, you know, I'm not married to her. We bought this property together.
But the lawyers told you.
The lawyers told us that
You cannot own the lot.
you can't own the lot. You cannot own the lot. But my name, yes, is on the title of the house. Okay. So what are the technicalities of that now, Gilda? My name is on the title as well as yours. No, let's discuss the technicalities of that.
But
Now, if something happened and, okay, you passed away before me. Now, John Blaze was saying something
I
about...
passed away before you, so in my share, straight away go to my kids.
Yeah, she's got it in her, the way it was structured, is that the property will go to her children. It doesn't mean I can't live here anymore because, now does that break my lease though? See, I have a 25-year lease here anyway, in my own protection. But my lease would have to be on it. Let's say that I got on the bad side of her children. Well, the lease still holds, right? Is that correct? Yeah. The lease still holds out, okay? The lease is still good. So the kids can't come in there and say, you know, we want to throw you out, you know. because we want to do this and we're going to occupy the place and all that. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. That's why when we did, John, and I don't know if you did that, but well, no, you don't have the house yet, but just the land. I mean, you don't have any say on the land. You have no say at all. You have no say at all on that land. It's hers, period. You put your name to it. That don't mean diddly squiddly. I'm not jumping on you. I'm not making fun of you. I'm not doing that at all. The fact is, the land is hers. I don't care if you put your title, but that house, if the house itself goes under both your names, there's certain stipulations there's certain things actually that apply to that. There's certain things that will apply, okay, to that. You do have ownership of that property, okay? It's really a mutual thing. I mean, if you both decide to sell, you both get half the money, however you want to arrange. If you break up, whatever, your name is still on it. There is some protection for that. But to make it even better is what you have to do is what I did. As much as I love my girlfriend, as much as, you know, what's mine is hers pretty much. My little creed around here, really. I don't care. You know, the fact is that, you know, if she turned on me, which is unlikely to ever happen, but let's say in a, you know, perfect world or imperfect world, she turns on me. Okay, so what happens there is that, and she can't tell me that I have to leave the property. In fact, I could turn around and tell her that, no, you gotta go. I'm leasing this property for 25 years. You're out of here. See you in 25 years if I survive it. Anyway, that's my 2 pesos on this, Mr. Blaze.